Ms. Gutierrez is with us representing the department. Mr. Ingram's with us representing the child. Mr. Taylor is with us representing the mother, Ms. Rodriguez. I don't see her. Mr. Taylor, were you expecting her?
I am not, Your Honor.
Okay. And the father, Mr. Pompa, is not with us. He's not in the waiting room. I have Lori Roybal in the waiting room. That's the only person.
That's my caseworker, Your Honor. If she could be let in, Your Honor. Lori, who do you work for?
I work for St. Francis Ministries as a permanency specialist.
And what do you do for them?
I am their permanency specialist. I'm working with.
Are you working with the family to help reunify?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And Norma is 5 years old. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where is she currently placed?
Currently, she's placed in a kinship home with maternal grandmother.
In what city or county is that home in?
El Paso County.
Just to be sure the record's clear, I show the father's Diego Pompa. Am I wrong?
It's two last names, Pompa, Molina Pompa.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Lori, can you give us some details on how Norma is doing there in the home?
Norma is adjusting. She is going to school. She's on track with her doctor's appointments. Grandmother does have her in counseling and is moving forward with keeping her with the relationship, trying to form a relationship with her sister that she already has placed in the home.
Do you have the name of the child's counselor?
I do not have that yet. She's supposed to start this week.
And once you have it, will you share that with the department? I'm sorry, with the other parties?
Yes.
Okay. Is the child old enough for a CANS assessment?
She is.
And has she had one?
She had one on 12/1/22.
Okay. Were there any recommendations from that CANS assessment?
It said pediatrician follow-up. That's the only thing I have from that CANS assessment.
Were you able to discern what the follow-up would be on? Would that be a mental health or would that be a physical health issue?
I was not able to, but she did see one in March, and there were no recommendations other than the counseling with her sister.
Okay, thank you. Can you give us some details on how the child is doing in school?
She's adjusting in school. She's having a few accidents in school, and grandmother's working with her on that.
Do you mean like potty accidents?
Potty accidents. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has there been any visitation between Norma and her mother since the last hearing?
No.
Is the mother currently allowed visitation?
She's allowed visitation and also has been offered virtual visitation, in person and virtual.
And has the mom taken you up on any of those options?
She has not worked with our parent support worker or family support worker for those visitations just yet.
Do you have the date of the last visit between the mother and the child?
I do not have that date.
Do you have an approximate time frame of when that would have been?
I do not.
Okay. Now, as far as services, how is Ms. Rodriguez progressing on services?
Ms. Rodriguez has not worked any services or met with us for a family plan.
Has Ms. Rodriguez started any services?
She has not started services, but tells me she's in rehab as we speak in El Paso. I have not been able to confirm that.
Okay. Did she give you the name of the rehab or anything like that?
She did give me the name. When I called, they couldn't release any information. So I can't confirm that she's been there.
Did she indicate if it's an inpatient or outpatient program that she is participating in?
Inpatient.
Now, in your court report, you had put pending rehab for her service of individual counseling. Can you please explain what you mean by that?
She was looking for a rehab and was going to get with me on what rehab that was so that we could work with rehab on her services. And she literally just a few days ago sent me a name of a rehab in El Paso County. So that's where we're at right now, trying to confirm that's where she is to work with them on services.
But you understand that this counseling has been ordered, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Have you been able to visit or verify where mom currently lives?
I have made 2 attempts to the house. It's a trailer house where she lives, like an RV trailer, and she has not been there. Other people have been in the home, but she has not been there.
Have you been able to verify by like a lease or contact with the people there in the home whether or not Ms. Rodriguez actually lives in that RV?
I have a verbal from a man that was there one day, but nothing on paper. No lease or contract.
Okay. Have you had any conversations with Ms. Rodriguez in the past couple of months regarding drug use?
I have.
Can you please tell us what those conversations have been?
I asked her about her usage. She told me that she started using again. Last time that she used was when they took Norma out of Amarillo in March.
Do you have the name of the rehab that mom claims to be in?
Rio Vista Rehab Center.
And lastly, Ms. Lori Boyle, you indicate in the court report that Ms. Rodriguez may have completed a parenting class, but you don't have a certificate. Is that correct?
She said possibly, and then when I asked her about it, she didn't remember what class it was. So I don't have confirmation on that.
Now, as far as Diego Molina, have you been able to locate him or speak with him personally?
I have not.
Can you please inform the court of your efforts these past few months to locate Mr. Molina?
Yes, I did locate family members who verified that he is alive and well. We located a former employer that could not verify employment. On their records, they didn't have him active or inactive. The family member did say that when she saw him again, she would tell him to call us. I have a phone number for him. A Spanish-speaking woman answered the phone and told me he was not available, and then hung up on me. Since then, I have sent a letter out to the family members so they can get it to him.
Is it your understanding that he resides with a girlfriend?
Yes.
And are we attempting, is it correct that my office is attempting to have him served at that girlfriend's home?
Yes.
Now, you had mentioned at the beginning of your response that Mr. Molina was alive and well, according to his family members. What indication did you have that he was not alive and well?
Blanca had told us that he had passed away, and I began to search for him and was able to reach a family member that saw him physically just within a week of that.
Had she also indicated that he was located in a couple of different states and at one point out of the country?
Yes.
Did you confront her with this information that you knew Mr. Molina was alive?
Yes, I did.
How did she respond?
With 2 phone numbers of people who might be able to contact him.
Okay. Now, with you unable to speak with Mr. Molina, has Mr. Molina initiated any services in his service plan?
No.
And is it correct that Ms. Rodriguez indicated at the beginning of the case that he also, Mr. Molina Pompa, also had a history of methamphetamine use?
Yes.
Now, do you believe there is a continuing danger to the physical health or safety of Norma, and that returning her to Ms. Rodriguez or Mr. Molina Pompa would be contrary to her welfare?
Yes.
Okay. Are we asking the court for any drug screens to be ordered today?
Yes.
What drug screens? On who?
Drug screens on both parents for hair follicle and the UA.
Now, it looks like at the status hearing, Ms. Rodriguez was ordered to hair follicle and urinalysis drug screen by 4 p.m. on January 9th of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did she comply with that order?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry.
Are you able to check the records at this time to verify whether or not she completed it?
I can check and get back with you.
Okay, and when you do that, would you email the other parties in the case, please?
Yes, thank you.
Are we asking that the child's placement be approved and that the department continue as temporary managing conservator?
Yes.
Ask the witness.
All right. Ms. Roybal, was Norma seeing a counselor when she was still in Amarillo?
I'm sorry, Judge, I'm not sure.
Well, I need to know. So if you need to read your report, go ahead. But these are things that I really need to know, and I'm not getting much in the way of answers.
It looks like she had a pending psychological appointment.
Your Honor, if it helps the court, may we recess so that Ms. Roybal can get this information for the court and reconvene perhaps a couple of weeks down the line?
I guess so. I'm just real curious. This case is 6 months old, and if Norma has not seen a counselor when the case is halfway over, that's a real concern to the court. So that's why I'm asking the question. So
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't think we need to reconvene. If someone would just send me and all the other parties an email about if she's seen a counselor, if not, why she has not seen a counselor in 6 months. So, okay, Mr. Taylor, questions?
Just a couple, Your Honor. Do you have the address that you last knew Blanca to be at? You said there's a camper that she was living out of.
Yes, I do.
And can you provide that to Ms. Gutierrez so that she can forward that on to me?
Yes, I can.
And do you have a phone number for her? Last one that I had is no longer in service.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And can you do the same with it?
Yes.
Okay. Appreciate it. I've had no contact from her, and the phone number and the address that I had for her are no longer valid since the adversary hearing. So I would appreciate that. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ingram.
Do you know if mom has ever drug tested since the initial drug test at the beginning of this case?
I do not.
All right, pass witness.
All right, Ms. Gutierrez, anything further?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may check in with Ms. Martinez. Ms. Martinez, are you able to pull up drug screen information for us?
I'm trying to log in and I'm unable to. I will message to see if somebody else can log in for me.
Okay, and Your Honor, can I get put in a breakout room with Lori and Caleb briefly?
Sure.
And before you go, I can tell you that when we contacted the prior placement on March the 8th, right before Norma got moved to El Paso, the placement reported that she was not in counseling and she seemed to be well adjusted and didn't think Norma needed counseling.
Who was prior placement?
It was a foster home locally, if I recall correctly.
Okay. So foster mom decided on her own that this child didn't need counseling. Is that what you're telling me, Mr. Ingram?
Judge, I'm not sure. I was reading Andy's note from her phone call. I don't know if she decided that on her own or if St. Francis told her that.
Okay, I'll open that breakout room now.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Yes, Your Honor, if I may recall Lori Roybal briefly.
Okay, go ahead.
And do we have Bill Taylor back? There he is. Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Lori, were you able to find out the information of when Ms. Rodriguez last drug screened?
Yes, that was on 2/24. She had a
Okay.
positive
And what was it positive for?
hair follicle,
Okay, what was it positive for?
methamphetamines.
All right, thank you. Pass the
Ms.
witness.
Gutierrez, anything further from the department?
Nothing further, Your Honor. The department rests.
All right, thank you. Mr. Taylor, did you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. Rest.
Mr. Ingram, recommendations?
Continuing department as temporary managing conservator, continue placement as is. Norma seems to be doing well so far with her grandmother and her sibling there in El Paso. I do recommend that mother's visitation be stopped until, not that she's visiting, but that it be ordered stopped until she provide a clean drug screen.
All right. And I think I read in a previous report that had more information, this maternal grandmother would adopt. Am I correct in that, Ms. Roybal?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then. I will continue the department as temporary manager conservator, continue the current placement. I'll order both parents to both hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. today. I'll order that Ms. Rodriguez's visits are suspended until further court order. And I do find there would be a continuing danger to the physical health and safety of the child, and if returned to either parent, and that returning the child to either parent would be contrary to the child's welfare. I was going to set a permanency in this case for September 4th. Is there any reason this shouldn't be set as a final? We can always treat it as a permanency.
Your Honor, we're fine with treating it as a final. I'm sure Mr. Taylor will file a motion for continuance if he feels that there's, if he decides that's a good thing to file.
Yeah, I'll set it as a final on September 4th. If Ms. Rodriguez starts engaging in services, we can always treat that as a permanency. Just because we call it a final doesn't mean we have to proceed as a final, but I will set that as a final hearing. Parties and attorneys it'll be by Zoom as far as I know, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of September 4th. Ms. Wiggins is with us for the department. Mr. Ingram's with us representing the children. Ms. Lucero is with us representing the father, Mr. McClendon, who is with us. And Mr. Michelson is with us representing the mother, Ms. Lopez, who is with us.
Your Honor, I have an issue that I need to address with the court before we get started, please.
Okay.
Okay. I have been in contact with my client, Mr. McClendon, since last week when I asked for the continuance. In speaking with him, to be perfectly honest with the court, I would ask to be, if I could be dismissed as his attorney on this case. There's just issues that have arisen with my representation of him, and I really do not believe that I can effectively represent him in this case. And I believe if I continue, that will just cause more issues if the case progresses after today.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and get this on the table. Mr. Michelson, I understand you're going to make a similar motion.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe that's accurate. I think based on my conversations with Elisa Lopez, I believe it would be in her best interest to have another attorney appointed or she obtain one.
Okay, well, I tell you guys, I'm sympathetic to your cause. I know I read the email that you sent, Mr. Michelson. These parents may just tell you they're not going to work any services and they don't want to work any services. But if I appoint you, you're both very capable lawyers. If I appoint anyone else, they're going to tell them the very same things, I'm sure.
We haven't told them that.
Your Honor, it doesn't.
We haven't told them that at all.
Yeah, it wasn't to do.
What?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, Your Honor. It wasn't to do with with them not wanting to work services. It wasn't anything like that. I just believe that it's just the way my representation of him up to this point, he's not satisfied with. And so I just believe that there's going to be continued, maybe with someone else, he would do better, but it's not going well at this point, to be perfectly honest with the court.
Well, I guess my question is, Ms. Lucero, what makes you think it'll go better with another attorney?
Maybe they can take steps that he believes that he asked me to take that I did not take. He doesn't feel like I've adequately represented him to this point. That I should have done more. I should have done more to try to get this case dismissed before today.
Questions I've asked her to present to the court, she still hasn't presented right now. We're in court.
Mr. McClendon, if I give you another lawyer, you understand it will be the last lawyer you get from this court.
I wasn't ever asking for one. When I asked her these questions, why she hadn't proposed them to you, she said that she was going to basically, in essence, fire herself because she could not help me with the answers to those questions. And I said that if I felt like if these issues were vocalized to you, that you being a judge has way more discernment than all of us, I think proceedings would not even be happening right now if they delayed these before your case.
I'm going to mute you if you don't quit interrupting. Let me tell you something, sir. She has no option to present anything to me until we get into court. And this is the first time we're in court. So you are completely mistaken on what you think that a lawyer can do for you.
I understand, sir. She's
Excuse
been
me.
speaking for
Don't
3 minutes.
interrupt. I'm going to mute you. I can't talk to her outside of this court proceeding about your case. So there's absolutely nothing Ms. Lucero could have done until this morning.
Well, I absolutely feel so intimidated right now by the court and Ms. Lucero.
Well, I'm sorry you feel intimidated, sir, but you don't interrupt in this court. Do you want another lawyer, or do you want to represent yourself or hire a lawyer?
I don't even know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm shaking in my voice. I don't know how to proceed with this. And I know you guys are very privy to that information, that I do not know how to proceed in this court. I've
So
only
you
ever
wanna-
been in a criminal proceeding as a criminal in
So
a
you
court
want
right now.
another lawyer? Is that what you're telling me? You want another lawyer?
No, that's what she told you. She said that she don't feel like she can represent me adequately because she won't answer my questions.
All right, listen to me and answer me yes or no. Do you want another attorney, or do you want to represent yourself or hire your own attorney?
I'm asking my judge to inform me of how I should proceed. I don't know.
All right,
I
let me stop you there. I cannot give you any legal advice. So you're asking me and Miss Luce, don't interrupt me, sir, or I'm going to mute you or remove you from this hearing. You're asking Miss Lucero and me to do things that we cannot do legally. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Do you want another attorney, or do you want to either represent yourself, or do you want to hire your own attorney?
I want to understand what's going on.
That's not the question.
That wasn't the question I asked my attorney or you either, sir.
I'm going to either give you no attorney, or you tell me you want another attorney.
So am I to understand that is a threat from the judge, that because I don't know how to proceed, that I'm going to just be given anything?
You're going to you have the right to an attorney. I'm telling you, I'll give you another attorney, or you have the right to represent yourself, or you have the right to hire your own attorney that you're comfortable with.
Okay, but I'm not the perpetrator, so I don't know how to answer that question. I am not the perpetrator.
I'm sorry.
I'm the victim.
I don't know what to do then.
I'm the victim, sir. You're not going to help me as the victim understand what I should do? I'm the victim. I'm not the perpetrator.
All right. I'm going to mute you. If you interrupt me one more time, I'm going to mute you. Do you want another attorney or not? Yes or no?
Will you answer my question, Judge? Yes or no?
No, I can't answer your questions. You're asking me to give you advice. I can't do that.
I didn't ask you that. I asked why. I'm not the perpetrator.
Right,
how come I can't understand?
That's it. I've muted him. I'm going to go ahead and appoint him another attorney.
I think statutorily, and we have to.
I know I don't have to if he wants to hire his own attorney, but he wouldn't answer me. So I just said I'm going to appoint him another attorney.
Yes, sir.
So, Ms. Lucero, you've said it was not based on the fact that she just won't do what you have recommended. So I'll go ahead and allow you to withdraw too.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
We're going to Haley, let's get some other attorneys. I'm going to let them know right now who they are, and we're going to reconvene this hearing. So
Okay, I have Mr. Taylor, Bill Taylor.
I'm sorry, you're so mute. I can't hear you, Haley.
Mr. Taylor, Bill Taylor.
For who? I'm going to appoint new lawyers
For father.
All right.
And then we will do Natalie Archer for mother.
I'm going to take